Hello and welcome back to Awakening Truths with Make Up Your Power. Tonight we will be going over our episode called Cultivating a Sense of Synchronicity. Cultivating synchronicity isn't merely about coincidence or chance. It's about aligning with the universe's flow, embracing meaningful connections, and recognizing the signs that lead us on our unique journeys. Come in, everybody. I'm Nicole, and I have Brian here, my twin flame, as we go over our personal stories over this past week that we experienced that actually synchronizes with tonight's episode. I had a moment of clarity where I was looking back into the fact that I have cleared all of the child traumas or programmings of the past and really truly realized that I have completely let that go and moved on. And somehow I was still feeling lethargic. My moods were kind of changing frequently. I was emotionally kind of like back and forth. I wasn't sleeping well. And the thing that changed was over the past 4 months, I became a vegetarian. Well, recently, as I'm becoming a vegetarian, I am turning more to carbs because I am no longer eating fish, no longer having really dairy, cheeses, or meat or anything like that. So with that, there's a certain amount of resource and natural vitamins that I was getting from these types of foods that I was no longer having. So I felt like that was possibly playing a part into why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. So with me being over 2 years bariatric, I already have to take vitamins daily to make sure that I'm getting specific vitamins that I wouldn't naturally get given the surgery that I had. So now that I kicked it into higher gear with the vegetarian, created more. So where this goes with cultivating a sense of synchronicity was these are kind of little pieces that end up interconnecting along the way on this journey of self-actualization too. So then I got blood work done. My results came back. There were about 4 different things that were kind of a little concerning, but nothing too big to worry about. While I let my doctor know that I wanted to know what they were, so then that way I can do what I can to fix that, because I was noticing mental things that were kind of up and down, clarity, focus, not remembering things. They're lethargic, like don't even want to move my body, getting very tired all of a sudden. And I wanted to know, so to see if there was a relation there. So then I got them back and I found out there was a relation there to the imbalances with B12, with my vitamin A, copper, and zinc. And those imbalances all along the way can create things with vision, with mental clarity, focus, energy, fatigue, emotional imbalances, and so forth. So I was like, okay, immediately let me make sure is there a connection. And those are all found in natural ways that you can do so, because I like to rabbit hole things, is by having poultry, shellfish, fish, all the things that I no longer had. So for me to work on getting that back, I went out and I got the supplements, the vitamins for the vitamin A, the B12, and so forth, started taking it. And I know it's going to take some time to get that. Well, the great thing about this is that in that understanding, I was able to find that time, because up north is always a space where I can go to gain clarity, clear my head on things, release things, become more present and in the moment. And when I do that, that's where a lot of things like this can come through, like the story that I just shared with you, because this was actually an after effect, truly, from taking the moment when a job happened to have fallen through recently, to take that moment with my husband to go up north, knowing that I was already kind of feeling this way, not fully understanding what was going on, but knowing that if I can just step away from the element for a minute, maybe I could feel better. And with my clients or with conversations, I was having a lot of interactions with people, and they were bringing up north. And every time I would hear about it, it would just hit my heart like, oh, I need to get up there. I need to get up there. So that was synchronicities. Aligning, the time was aligning, and my husband decided to drive. That was aligning, which gave me time to look up the vitamins, what it means to have these elevated numbers while also being able to understand what they do, the side effects they do have on the body, both positive and negative, and where they naturally come from and so forth. Again, synchronicity is all aligning. So we're doing the drive up, and we end up going to the destination was Headlands International Dark Sky Park. For us, what's really big is really getting out in nature, and there's beautiful finds out there that you don't really need money for. Taking the time out for yourself, you don't need money for it to go do to experience. It is a free place. You're welcome to go there 24/7.
I've been up there my whole life, gone up to this place, and never one time really gone to that this
International Dark Sky Park.
Yep, International Dark Sky Park. Like what?
They keep the light elevation completely, pollution completely out.
It was awesome.
Yep, and it has telescopes when it's during open season, which is usually through May and October. And of course, we tend to go up there often between November and April. That's for another story for us to share with you. But just wanted to kind of share my part and my perspective of what kind of happened on my experience, and then have Brian share kind of his own personal synchronicities that kind of helped him lead him to his own kind of cultivation, I guess, in a way of synchronicities with this trip. So going up to this trip, we've got the beautiful sky. We're up there. You know, there was other experiences, but with that gained a lot of clarity. We were able to go to Quamanum Falls and then share like that experience live with our followers on TikTok. So then that way they can just, if they have a hectic day or they're stuck inside or they're in an office or it's chaotic all around them, to just step away and into peace and know that, especially in Michigan, there's a lot of beauty here. Yes, if you're in Kalamazoo, which is where we reside, you cannot drink any water, and the PFAS contamination is ridiculous here, I'll be honest. But we can't do anything about that. But what we can do at this current time is we can go see the beautiful things that help us get regrounded, the stuff that we do have control over, and getting away really does make a difference if you can have just a day, because we were able to do this within a day and a half time period and do it in a way where we slept, where we experienced it, where we did it substance and alcohol free. Like we experienced the situation for what it was and gained that clarity.
All right, cultivating a sense of synchronicity. So I have replaced a lot of my bad habits, like gaming and dawdling and just messing around with trying to find little fast money making pings. And a lot of times I just doesn't pan out. And there's a lot of times where I'm thinking that I'm doing it. And when I get to that point of, all right, I got this going, things are going good, about to make this money, and then it doesn't pan out. So I had to get some relief, some sense of mind. And like Nicole said, the biggest thing and the biggest way for us to do so is to go up north, fresh air. Not very much noise pollution, air pollution, light pollution, people pollution at this time. So it was great. It was a very gratification feeling of going up there and going to little sites that we haven't been to. And we've been all over Michigan. And there's still sites and places that surprise me with this state. But coming home with that clarity, I had another little ping to make a quick buck, and I started messing with it and putting my time and energy into it. And before I get to the end of doing so, I came to an epiphany, as you would say, a little thought that, man, these little quick pings that intrigue me are things that maybe I shouldn't be messing with, because 9 times out of 10 they don't pan out. So that's where I ended up catching myself and stopping it before I could continue on a pattern. So the next time this happens, I can catch myself, I can stop and be good with it. Red flag. Be done.
And that's a form of synchronicity.
And that's a form of synchronicity.
Now, these are just a couple of most recent lived in real-time experiences that we both had, because we feel that if we can share what we're personally going through and it maybe be able to resonate for somebody that's listening or, viewing or whatnot, and kind of help them, then we're connecting. And that's the kind of connecting that we want to be able to do here with this platform, is to be able to relay personal experiences, real-time experiences, with ways of aligning with your journey. And when you're cultivating a sense of synchronicity, you're seeing things for more of patterns or situations aligning in a way that is on your radio frequency that you can understand. And that can come up in many different forms, whether that be through number synchronicities, or if you keep connecting with people and you keep hearing, like, for example, of the going up north, or, like taking out the substances that were the things that I would resort to, like, 5 hours or energy drinks. And now hearing that kind of red flag for me of, wait, if you're doing that, what's kind of going on here, and kind of self-reflecting. And that kind of pushed me more into that health aspect, with the vegetarian, and me needing to apply different steps and finding different resources. But those are all personal. So that way, it all kind of matches up. When we go up north and we're connecting and we're grounding, we're becoming present and mindful. So that's kind of tapping into spiritual aspects in all of its ways, like with people that we connect with, and trying to be able to have people just kind of stop for a moment and just be in the moment, is where you can almost gain the most clarity and see those synchronicities of life that they're trying to tell you all around you. A few quick examples, too, of cultivating a sense of synchronicity and about embracing the meaningful connections and coincidences. They literally do pepper throughout your day. And some are like running into an old friend or an acquaintance unexpectedly, receiving a phone call or a message from someone you were just thinking about, finding the perfect solution or answer to a problem you've been pondering. Those already we can relate to completely. In regards to even the first one, running into an old friend or an acquaintance unexpectedly. I'm not going to go into details because I don't want to breathe life into it. But a human being from our past, we saw at a gas station, that kept its distance for a reason. It is a closed chapter, but it was a reminder of what the old was and what the now is for me, and the empowerment that has come along my way since that interaction with that situation. So that's a synchronicity that was beautiful in a way as well. And then receiving the phone call or message from someone you were just thinking about, that happens all the time. But the problems that you're pondering happen a lot very well when you come to peace and you get grounded with the earth. Those are really great ways on, however, or tapping into your creative, just ways that have worked for us that we personally have done. Noticing repeated symbols or themes throughout your day is really great, like number synchronicities, seeing repeating numbers. We tend to, especially when we go on traveling, always see significant numbers, and there's usually a theme to them. So for me personally, 4s and 1s were really big on our travel, which set up a lot of new beginnings. 10s were full completion on things. Seeing 4 10s was like having, everything, like having the mental clarity, the spiritual, the emotional, just all of them all around, just be free. Even seeing the 4/4s today, like a lot of that is really great and embracing rather than kind of pushing away, even if it can sound kind of silly, but I can promise you, if once you start, it will always be around. It's one of those things that the synchronicities will always be around you. Just tune into it, really, but they're always there. Thinking of a song and it playing on the radio, meeting someone new who shares a significant similarity or interest with you, those can be really great connection people that through that connection and community, that if we embrace that rather than kind of separate out of resistance or fear or worry, that it's okay to have people come in just for, even if it's just for a season, it's always for a reason or for a lifetime or what have you. Embrace it. Don't be afraid of it, because then you're almost creating more synchronicities down that path. If you tend to reject things, I mean, and don't get me wrong, whatever you say no to, there's something you're saying yes to. Whatever you're saying yes to, you're saying no to something. So regardless, that's going to happen. Just go with what resonates best for you and what feels right for you on the direction and path that you're choosing to move forward on. A couple more: receiving a sign or message from nature that aligns with your thoughts or emotions. That's a really great way, like with the stargazing or the waterfalls. I actually zoomed quite in, and I was seeing like these beautiful long frozen iceberg type um, impressions on the cliffs of the upper falls, and it was just beautiful. And I would zoom in and you can see just past the waterfall where there was frozen behind it, and it was just encapsulating me. And then I would follow the water as it would drip down and become so soothing, and it would just pull me in. And with water, it's like emotions moving, energy flowing. And then when you look at it as it comes out, it, like, meaning it calms down as it goes out, there's kind of like a peace that comes over you of emotional release and freedom. So I was kind of like watching it as the waterfall is hitting and it's all jumbling up real crazy down at the bottom. It's like the mixture of all of those feelings, all of those thoughts, right? And then they just kind of dispersed out and they eventually calm. So let them fall and let them release. That's kind of the synchronicities. That's kind of the deep path that I kind of look at things personally, but it's kind of a beautiful way, right, to look at it. Or I could have perceived it as it's freezing out here. I'm slipping all over the place. I've got 94 steps to walk up. Instead, I looked at all of those things for me personally as synchronicities of, well, you're earning your keep by seeing this beautiful wonder, that you're withstanding those 94 steps to do so, up and back, you know.
You're talking about going up and down the stairs to Kamina Falls.
Yep.
I thought you were talking about the moonlight as the moon was trying to peek its way through at night through the clouds and reflecting itself down onto the lake. And
From our room, yes. Right. Shout out to the Hamilton Inn in Mackinaw City for them hooking us up beautifully with the jacuzzi style room and water view. For us, that was very special. So shout out to them. I cannot remember the lady that checked us in, but shout out again to Hamilton Inn. You guys have always been great. I've been there many years, many times, and the sunsets and the sunrises are absolutely incredible through there. We were capturing the moon rising out of like the clouds that looked like they wanted to roll in after we got out of the Dark Skies Park.
Right. And how you were talking about shedding and throwing all your crap into the water so it can be replenished and brought back to you 10 times full, clean and cleansed.
Yes.
I thought that's what you were talking about.
I love how he said that, though. No, but babe, you just connected the end release, because I was talking about the Tequamana Falls and how, you know, that goes down and rumbles throughout the bottom, but bringing that up at night, because that at night the water was all calm. Though it was frozen by us, it was calm next to it, and the moon was so bright and on it. So him sharing that was real beautiful, because it's kind of one of those things of the calm water, and the moon does intensify because it moves tides and whatnot. Why wouldn't it move the water within us, which is a movement of emotions, because it's fluid, it's constantly energy in motion. That's the kind of beauty that you get to experience when you're up there. You know, it's pretty much one place to eat, one place to sleep. but the experiences that you get to go to, especially if you're willing to, car camp or what have you, it's the wealthiest trip that you'll ever do and save the most amount of physical money doing so because you're experiencing Michigan.
All you're paying is gas, really.
Yeah, the gas up and back.
And the rooms are cheap because it's off season.
But not to take away from the off season because that's our quiet time. Everybody can have their own place to have their quiet time. That's one of ours. That is us going to Florida, is us going up north. That's what we're always going to do. So just to share that, but with the synchronicities, guys, I know we just get into talking as if we're just shooting the shit, but that's kind of what this is about, is creating and cultivating a synchronistic community that kind of relates or may not, but can, like, share your stories along with us. Come on the show if you would like to. You can email makeupyourpower@gmail.com, or you can check us out, leave comments, get interactive, share maybe synchronicities that you may have had on your journey and on your path, and travels in destinations that you like to go to as well that help you. For me to jump back to and conclude with the vitamins and whatnot, what was really embracing and why we were sharing our kind of synchronistic personal cycles that we were kind of working through was how it all kind of came together universally through taking that space and that time away, and already starting to notice the changes with the vitamins that I am taking and starting to feel better as if I'm starting to get to myself, which feels really, really great, empowering and in control, rather than the things that I once knew, the habits that I once knew. So we're always growing and we're always cultivating our sense of self on this journey. And I'm happy with where I'm at. And with that, I was hoping that that could also share to a community that might have vitamin or imbalances themselves, that just through a little bit of regulation then to even dietary, the vitamin itself is a quicker option to at least maybe help and starting to get you regulated, so that way it could hopefully help you get focused in creating those more feeding habits, if that makes sense. It's something more to get started and sustain easier as a habit as you're growing these better stackable habits. That's what we are seeing for ourselves. And if that can somehow inspire and help others, then amazing. And if you guys have things as well, please, we love direction. And we know that we gain clarity through there. So we thank you on that one. About synchronicities and also talking about seeing repeating numbers for 111, new beginnings, manifestation, and alignment with spiritual purpose. 222, balance, harmony, and relationships and alignment with the universe. 333, divine protection, guidance, and connection with spiritual beings. 444, stability, foundation, and grounding your intentions into reality. 555, change, transformation, and embracing opportunities for growth. 666, balance between material and spiritual realms, focusing on harmony. 777, spiritual awakening, intuition, and alignment with higher wisdom. 888, abundance, prosperity, and alignment with the flow of energy. 999, completion, endings, and preparation for a new spiritual cycle. 1010, manifestation, spiritual enlightenment, and positive beginnings. Now, of course, these numbers can mean different things to different people. These are a great way at first to kind of relate to as you're trying to learn how to better communicate with the universe, source, or whatever it is that you like to, align with, your higher self. And in doing so, the numbers will kind of change to become more personalized for yourself and your stories. So that way, when you are trying to find answers for certain questions that you may be having or experiencing different things, these numbers will kind of come up as messages to let you know that your guides are there or that you're going through transformation. So like with the fives, but it will be quick, it'll be sudden, can be harsh, but it will clear a really great space. So these numbers are a really great way in just kind of working with the divine, connecting with your intuition and your inner knowing and inner communication. Again, these are great cultivating ways of synchronicities. Now, people can do that also with, in negative aspects if they want to look at things that aren't. You can be abundant in both ways. You can be abundant in what you really want in your life and what you really don't want in your life. Honestly, it's up to you on how much energy you want to put and attention you want to put towards either, is really going to be how it ends up on the other end. Really great um, women in my life. Betsy McHugh Gibson, she's been a great friend of mine, mentor of mine, woman that I work for. She's a great photographer. Her and her husband, me and my husband, we all get along well. They're great. And she was doing a live with a friend of hers talking about, self-love and self-care, and also bringing up what we had spoken about tonight too, about, watching the red flags, red signs, and kind of, rerouting and creating a different course of action, and healthier habits. Everything takes time, but in hearing what they were sharing and, really connecting with your body and knowing how to um, kind of understand what you're feeling, if maybe you are hungry, if you need movement, be going through, like if you're going through certain feelings at a time. They also mentioned about pillars of life, like if there's negative pillars, where in different times throughout your life could that have maybe created, and in finding that kind of root in a way, how that can possibly help in moving forward, because I don't know about you, but for me personally, I'm at a point where I'm ready to move forward into what I am, who I am, and no longer what the layers were of me once before. Those are now shed. So it's really great to kind of hear, you know, a lot of us, there's many of us out there that are sharing the same kind of, similar information. And it all comes down to, at the end of the day, of valuing you and yourself, and understanding yourself, and registering and reading yourself, and also, community and collaborating with people. And really hopefully having them on. I will put in the description links to them, so that way you can connect further with them both. I'm sure that they would love to connect with you, and maybe they will come on and we can all talk. Susan Wilcombe, LPC, Counseling Center for Women.org is where you can find Betsy McHugh Gibson's guest that she had on, and speaking about a lot of the self-love. And they even speak about going through menopause, premenopausal, all types of things that are really, really great and helpful resources. Betsy McHugh Gibson pictures, again, I will put all that information down below for you guys to check out, but really kind of connect, listen, reach out, see what resonates for you, who you connect with. Just know that we're all here. There's a community of women and people here, and even my dog, Missy, she's my emotional support animal. As you can tell, she emotionally just gave me almost a heart attack as I was talking. But just to let you know that there's community here, and that we all can interconnect and talk about the stuff that nobody wanted to talk about before, and talk about the stuff that we should be focusing on and working through and embracing, rather than the fear mongering that's been being put out there in the social, in the different media platforms. So let's just kind of take our power back here, right? And thanks again for joining us. And then for joining us again on another week of our Awakening Truths with Make Up Your Power podcast. This week we did not go live. We did recorded segments as we are working through how we want to build this podcast on the best platform that will reach everybody in a way that'll be clear and smooth. Next week we will be bringing in Michelle Shepherd Coy. She is a money mindset coach, and she is an absolutely incredible woman. I cannot wait to have her in the studio next week. We will probably be live then, and we will be talking about honoring and embracing creative strengths. So that's what we will be coming back to talk about next week. And thanks again for joining us. You can hear us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, There's many more that I will list probably in the description below. Thank you again, and we'll see you next week. Bye.